Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the security forces will not surrender the Denham Town community in Western Kingston to criminals amid an increase in confrontations between members of the security forces and residents in recent weeks.
The Denham Town Zone of Special Operations, which I intend to visit that zone of special operations and meet with the citizens there. I'm trying to put together in my diary the time to do that, because I know it will be a long and extended visit when I do go there. But we have had challenges there, and we have had challenges for a long time with the community. I know that the residents want peace. And when you talk to them quietly, privately, as we say, one away, they will tell you that they just want to live in peace. It is really sad what is happening there, where it is obvious that there are attempts to challenge the security forces, and the security forces in their response and in their conduct sometimes would have gone over and beyond what is expected of them in the use of force on our citizens. So I have had several discussions with the Chief of Defense Staff and the Minister of National Security, and we are monitoring this very closely. We have given certain instructions about the conduct of the security forces in those areas, and we expect that those directives will be properly and thoroughly executed to ensure that we preserve life and enhance the security of the citizens, which is what the zones were designed to do. Having said that, I just want to reinforce that the government of Jamaica will never in any way empower our security forces to abuse our citizens. And I want that to be absolutely clear and understood. And I think everyone who wears a uniform and is under oath to serve and protect must understand that directive of the government. We must be serving and protecting our citizens. But our Constitution doesn't only go up and down, meaning flowing and protecting rights from the Constitution down to the citizens. The citizens also have a duty and a responsibility. And too often, we have seen where police officers are conducting their lawful duties, and military personnel as well, and there is a high level of unreasonable resistance, confrontation, unnecessary, which leads to conflict. So in as much as we have to hold strong rein on our security forces, I think each and every citizen has to change the way in which we respond and react to authority and to the law enforcers. You know, one thing the country can be sure of: if a law enforcement officer steps out of line, we have an independent body that investigates it. Our heads of the security forces, I know them well, that they don't stand for that, and internally they investigate and take action. But you know that your Prime Minister will never allow the security forces to abuse the citizens and get away with it. We don't create programs and operations that are designed to abuse the citizens. So you can have confidence in your state. I know it's a hard thing to accept given the past of where we're coming from, but we can't continue to dwell in the past. So I'm appealing to our citizens as well that how we behave towards the security forces, that has to change as we seek to build this more caring, this more loving, less aggressive society. Some time ago, I made a statement that the kind of crime that we are facing, it's not just random, arbitrary street level crime. There is intelligence behind criminality in Jamaica, meaning that there are criminals who sit down and plan and organize. This government is aware of that, and we would have seen that come out in testimony given in trials. So let me make it clear to whichever intelligence is operating behind the criminality that the government of Jamaica will not pull down the zone of special operations in Denham Town to give space to criminals. Let me just make that absolutely clear. So if there is anyone who is deliberately trying to plan, coordinate, stoke, that will not work. So I just want to make that pellucidly clear that, we're not going to allow criminals to dictate our security response.
Black man and witness kept in touch via cell phone over 500 times. A communication analyst on Thursday testified that the reputed leader of the one faction of the Klansman gang, Andre Blackman Bryan, and a former gangster turned state witness, communicated over 500 times via cell phone in 2019. The analyst, who is a police sergeant assigned to the Constabulary's Forensic and Cybercrimes Division, said the calls were made between January and August of that year. Additionally, the witness said that the former gangster communicated more than 1,000 times via cell phone with defendant Jason Brown, alias City Post, while the latter was incarcerated following his conviction for murder that is unrelated to the alleged gangsters. The latest developments occurred during the gang trial in the Home Circuit Court in downtown Kingston. A total of 33 people, including Bryan and Brown, are on trial for a raft of criminal offenses, including murder and arson. The communications analyst began testifying on Wednesday and gave evidence linking the secretly recorded phone conversations between the alleged gangsters and their former crony. The policeman made the connection as a result, analyzing the cell tower which were activated during the cell phone conversations, along with other data that were gathered from the calls. The call data information relates to the 3 cell phones a former gangster turned state witness allegedly used to secretly recorded conversations with alleged members of the gang. During his testimony on Thursday, the witness said 4 cell phone numbers were linked to Bryan and stored under other alias Teacher. In previous testimonies at the trial, alleged gangsters were facing difficulties in communicating with Bryan while he was detained during a probe into his alleged criminal lifestyle. Brown, alias City Post, has suggested that a cell phone should be smuggled into a police lockup for Bryan in order for him to resume regular communication with the criminal outfit. The police witness used a chart on Thursday to highlight the number of calls that were made between the former gangster and other gang members. The analysis indicated that the lone female defendant, Stephanie Muma Christie, was the only alleged gang member who personally subscribed to one of the island's major telecommunications providers. He testified that she had multiple cell phone numbers assigned to her. Additionally, there were multiple numbers linked to other alleged hoodlums, including City Post and others, though they as individuals were not personally subscribed to either of the major telecommunications providers locally. During his testimony, the witness presented data which matched the numbers the sum of the defendants used to the subscribe details of Christie. The witness said one of the numbers saved as Teacher, alias for Bryan, was matched to the subscriber details of a woman who is unrelated to the gang. Likewise, one of the numbers used by City Post matched the subscriber details for another woman who is unrelated to the gang, the witness testified. Protecting children from harm is the priority. The Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA, remains steadfast in its mandate of protecting children from harm and ensuring their well-being. During May, which is Child Month, the agency will undertake several activities predominantly targeting children in state care and their families, with an emphasis on providing opportunities for children's self-expression, in keeping with the 2022 Child Month theme, Listen Up, Children's Voices Matter. Chief Executive Officer of the CPFSA, Rosalie Gage-Gray, said that during the month, the activities will include outreach sessions, workshops, empowerment sessions, awards, as well as fun experiences involving children and staff in residential childcare facilities. The CPFSA's regional and parish offices across the island will also engage the general public through events to be executed in partnership with stakeholders, which will extend beyond Child Month, she pointed out. A major initiative of the month is the unveiling of the CPFSA's Child Protector's mascot, Mr. Protector, designed by a student from Bumble Primary in St. Anne, Richard Small. Mr. Protector forms part of CPFSA's strategy to promote the 211 telephone number that child can call to report child abuse. The number is a free 24-hour operated reporting line that was launched as last year and is being used by children across Jamaica. In addition, Flow Foundation, in partnership with the CPFSA, will host a series of talks targeting parents of grade 6 students at primary schools across the island. According to Gage-Gray, the vulnerability of children to online threats is a legitimate concern as society increasingly relies on internet connectivity to conduct daily business. We believe one of the best ways to help protect children is by educating and equipping the parents with the knowledge and confidence to safeguard their children, she said. The CPFSA team, along with stakeholders, will conduct walkthroughs in several communities. The aim is to make an impact through educational engagement and awareness regarding the CPFSA's mandate and mission, and meet and greet socially, while engaging people in informational sessions on child abuse and the importance of reporting this abuse. The Children in Charge Day program is designed against the background of respecting the views of the child and further promoting child participation as outlined in Article 12 of the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child and the Child Care and Protection Act, CCPA. On Friday, May 20, National Children's Day, children from the child protection sector will assume management of the residential child care facility, CPFSA officers, and other participating organizations. They will have the opportunity to shadow senior personnel and get the chance to make at least one major decision during the day. The National Plan of Action for an Integrated Response to Child and Violence will lead a discussion on matters relating to violence against children. The issue of missing children will be one of the main agenda items in commemoration of the International Day of Missing Children, May 25th. A missing and exploited children sensitization session with the transport sector Montego Bay Metro is another highlight of the month. Gage-Gray said the Ananda Alert Secretariat will host its second phase of training for public transport sector workers to assist in the recovery of missing children. This phase targets Montego Bay Metro, with drivers, conductors, and dispatchers being trained to identify signs of child abuse, categories of missing children, identifying children who may be at risk, runaways, abducted, otherwise exploited, handling incidents, and making reports. The CPFSA's mission is to proactively and responsively protect as well as protect care beyond limits to Jamaica's children. This is done through sensitive investigations and appropriate action, love, advocacy, education, rehabilitation, and family support. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.